What's going on, guys? It's Brooke from Sentinel. I just barely got done making this drum kit for our tracks that I'm going to use that I think sounds really, really good. It's got really heavy kicks and snares, and that's really what I'm going to be talking about in the video. I just figured I'd post this up because there's some little secret tricks that you can use to really beef up your kicks and your snares and make them sound really good and punchy. And you know, especially if you're producing like dubstep and stuff, it makes it just, you know, that really heavy sounding snares and stuff that you hear in there. I don't know about like any other genre of electronic music besides pretty much dubstep. That's all I listen to. But anyways, you can use this in whatever you're doing. But this is my this is actually set at drum step speed, but you know, whatever. I can hurry and drink some Rockstar and I'll get started. Alright. That's really good. I guess before I do anything, hopefully you can hear this good. This is all recording on my screen records, so it might be a little bit muffled, but I'll post a link to the SoundCloud where I'm just going to put up the loop that I'm playing right here. But this is how everything sounds. I put a lot of drums in when I'm doing stuff, especially drum step. Look at that. Alright, so that's what they sound like. You probably can't hear it very good, but if you go on SoundCloud and listen to it, it sounds really good. The big trick on it is layering your snares and your kicks and messing with them to where when you put your samples together, they don't cut each other out and stuff. So, and we use machine hardware and software when we do our tracks, just because I love it and I love the workflow on it. But you don't have to have it. It's the exact same as Fruity Loops, pretty much, when you look at this kind of stuff. I don't care. But anyway, so I'll go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to know is make sure whenever you're playing your stuff like this, it doesn't redline at all on your master output. See, it's going right there. If you do start redlining like that, when you try to play it through like a loud set of speakers or whatever, it's gonna start sounding all distorted and muffled and whatever. So if you do it this way, you can boost it afterwards and turn the volume up as much as you want, and you won't mess with it. But so the big one I'm going to talk about now is my, let me link those together, my kicks and my snare. Hold on. I won't worry about it. Okay. There's my kick. There's my snare. Sounds good. But my kick, I actually used 3 different kick drums and just layered them all together to make them sound right. I got this one right here. It's more of my, it's the one that gets all like the higher end sound of my kick. And then I've got that one right there that does everything except for the sub bass. And then I've just got this one right here that's just nothing but sub that goes with it. So when you put them all together, it sounds really, really good. It covers all the frequency ranges you want on your kick, and it punches through with that sub really nice and deep. So first we'll start out with this high-end one. Now I'll see if I can find the original samples of these real fast, because I do a lot of stuff to mess with the actual, like, you want to find good sounding kick samples and stuff at very first, but then you're going to do a lot of tweaking and messing with them and stuff. Like I spent 3 days now working on just like these kicks and snares. So hold on one second, I'll see if I've got it loaded up somewhere. Pendulum 7, see. I have a lot of drum samples, by the way, that I can go through. These are all my kicks right here. I've got just so many, but I'll try to find this pendulum one. Oh, passed it. right here. Here's what it sounded like originally. So it's been changed quite a bit. And so what I did at first on all of them is, you know, check my wave, my actual wave shape to see what it's looking like on all. See, there's that one. Here's my mid one. There's my sub. But so there's that. It's got it. Okay. Then I do a lot of messing with. I put it to where it's not going off as a one shot. It goes off as attack, hold, and delay. I got my attack all the way at 0, so it's, you know, got all there. Then it holds all the way and decays 50%. So, you know, it sounds really good and it doesn't hold on too long. It's nice and short like that. So I get all that set just the way I want it on this one. And then I went in on Guitar Rig and put all my EQs and stuff on here. Well, no, this one just has a transient master. The transient master will give it more, you know, punch or whatever you want, you know, more. So I set the attack up a little bit on it and pulled the sustain down a little so that it, you know, it doesn't do too much when you're listening to it, but, you know, it's just that slight little bit that makes a difference to me. So there it is with that. So I said that just to give it a little bit more, you know, punch on this upper one. And I go through and I'll put a limiter. I'll talk about this first, and I'll turn them to where the threshold on it's way down. I did it on this one too. And then no matter how hard you're hitting it on the velocity, it's gonna hit at the exact same volume the whole time. See, it holds there, you know, no matter what I do. And then that way, when I go through and mess with my EQ, I'm not, when I do boost stuff on the gain, I don't actually make it louder. I just, it's more working like a filter, which is cool. So see, here it is without the EQ. No limiter. See, without those, you know, it can do whatever. So I put the limiter on the EQ, and then I just mess with these, you know, until you get something you like. You know, I just did little minor adjustments on there, and then messed with the gain right here. Turned the gain down a little bit on this one, so it's a little bit quieter, but then you still get that high end. My cat's running around. So there's how that high end one goes. And then I got this next one, the middle one. Again, going to the sample. This one had at first, you know, just that little tiny bit at the very beginning, right here, that I took off. I'll zoom in on there, just so it got rid of that, you know, click right at the beginning, and then the sample started right then. That's all I did on the waveform on that one. And then I went again, and now I got the hold on all the way to 100%. So it's playing through the whole sample, and then it decays at 100% too. So it's just doing the exact sample. The attack's still set at 0 because the punchiness on them doesn't really interfere with each other. So there's those two put together. And again, I got my EQ, I got my limiter set all the way down, so like I said before. Then the EQ on this one, just a little tiny bit of gain, and then I just added, you know, tweaked around with this a little bit till I got something I liked. Again, not very much difference in there, but it was enough. The big part on this one is I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to interfere with my sub bass, so I went in and put a filter on it with a high pass, set the cutoff at 114 Hertz, and then when I added my sub bass right here, I put a low pass on it, and the cuts, you know, right about the exact same place. That way they're not clashing the frequencies, and then that way, you know, it doesn't get all distorted and whatever when you put them together. So that's a big tip right there, is, you know, if you're, when you do, instead of like trying to turn your kick sample way down to get the sub bass and boost in the EQ, just get a sub bass like that, and then just set the filters up to where they're not cutting each other out, and then it gives you, you know, that super low end sub bass that goes right along with it.